Hi guys, welcome to Lily Wins Creative. My name is Lydia and in today's tutorials I'm going to be showing you on how I made this fitted pencil trouser. As you can see, it's so fitted, like you can assume it as a leggings and really brought out my curves. So in this tutorials I'm going to be showing you everything I did to achieve this. Watch to the end so that you don't miss out on anything. If you're new here, please consider to subscribe to this channel. Share with friends and colleagues whom you think might be interested in trouser as fitted as this. Leave me your comment at the comment section on what you think about it, and contributions are allowed. Also, if you have questions regarding this, you can leave it at the comment section. Like my video, share it, enjoy the rest of the tutorials. First, I'm going to be drawing two lines, a side line and also an up line like this. This up line represents the high waistline. So from that up line, 3 inches downwards is the low waist, and also from that low waist, I'm marking out 9 inches, which is the thigh line. I'm also marking out 7 inches, which is the hip line. Now I'm going back to the high waist to take my new measurement, which is 22 inches. From that same high waist, I'm also taking the trouser length measurement, which is around 41 inch. Then I added 2 inch for folding allowance. So now I'm extending the marks with straight lines. So once that is done, I will now go ahead to label each line. The first is the high waist line, second is the low waist, then next is the hip line, then the thigh line, the new line, then finally the trouser length. Now on the high waistline by the side, I'm taking it in by half an inch, and I'm connecting this half an inch to meet with the hip line. This is in order to give it a curvy shape. My waist is 30, divide by 4 is 7.5, then plus half inch is 8, I marked 8. My hip is 41, divide by 4 is 10.25, so I marked 10.25. For my tie, I'm only going to be dividing it by 2, so my tie is 25, divide by 2 is 12.5. So once I'm done with that, I'm just going to go ahead to connect those 3 points, which forms the clutch. Now I'm taking the clutch measurement. If it is longer or shorter, I will either go down with the high waist or go up with it. So now I'm taking the midpoint for the tie, which is 12.5 divided by 2. That should be around 6.25. I'm going to run a line from that midpoint on the tie to meet the trouser length at the bottom. My round nail is 20, so 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I'm marking 5 on one side on the nail and I'm marking 5 on the other side of the nail. So on the bottom, I mean the ankle, my round ankle is 12 inch, so divide by 4 is 3 inch. So I'm marking 3 inch on one side and I'm marking 3 inch on the other side as well. So once I'm done inserting the whole body measurement, I'll now start connecting the lines from the nail to the tie on one side of the trouser and on the other side of the trouser as well. After that, I'll go ahead to connect the nail to the trouser length on one side and on the other side as well. I had to slant out the folding allowance at the bottom so that by the time I fold it, it relaxes on the trouser. So now I'm going to, so once I'm done with everything, I'm now cutting it out like this. I transferred the front trouser pattern onto another fabric in order to cut the back, and I also extended the tie line, the hip line, and also the waistline as well. So after I'm done with that, I'm now going to be extending the back clutch by 2 inch, larger than the front. So I'm doing it for the thigh, for the hip, for the waist as well. So once I'm done giving it 2 inch, I'm now going to connect it from the waist to the thigh like this. So I made the clutch length at the back longer than that of the front by 2 inch. This is in order for it to accommodate the bum bum. So now I'm now connecting the clutch for the back pattern to meet the front pattern side waist. So on the same level. So guys, if you notice, I didn't give the front pattern any allowance while I was cutting it. But now I'm giving the back 2 inch allowance. That's for the sewing allowance. So I'm giving 2 inch to the inner thigh, that's the nail, and also the bottom. Everywhere on the inner thigh, I'm giving it 2 inch allowance. So once I'm done with that, I'm now going to connect this allowance that I gave it with a straight line. So after I'm done adding all the 2 inch allowance, I'm going to start cutting now. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to be transferring both the back and the front pattern onto a new fabric. That's the fabric I want to sew. So this is it. This is the front pattern. I'm also going to be laying the back pattern so I can manage fabric like this. I've cut the front pattern and I have also cut the back pattern as well. So this is the back pattern. I'm going to get the midpoint of the waist, notch it, and then apply my dart on it with the chalk first before taking it to the machine to do it. The dart is going to be about 5 inches long, and I'm going to be sewing it in by 3/4 inch. So after I applied the dart, this is how it looks. I did it for both sides. So now I'm going to keep this aside and then bring the front pattern and sew it on the clutch by 1/2 inch like this. So I left almost an inch after I finished sewing it, as you can see. So after that, I'm now going to bring the back pattern, lay it over the front pattern, and then sew it by the side. I'm also going to do that for the other side as well. So now I'm done with it and I'm going to now fold it into two like this. Retake the measurement to make sure that everything is intact. So for the waist and also for the hip and the thigh as well. So for the hip, I'm going to take 3 inch below the high waist. Then I'll place my tape on that same line, that's 3 inch line, and then measure out 7 inches. So that 7 inches is the position for the where the hip is. So once that is done, I'm now going to be connecting the hip to the waist at the back clutch. So once that, I'm now going to sew it in this manner. And once I'm done, I left at least 1 inch at the thigh. Next, I'm going to be joining the front and the back pattern inner thigh on one leg and also on the other leg. And the 1 inch allowance I left for the front crotch and back clutch, I have to stitch it back also. So this band, I had to cut it in bias form, stay it and then sew it. Now I'm going to attach it to the waist of my trouser on the one side because I'm going to put a side zip. So I'm going to be coming from the side to meet the point where I'm going to fix the zip and on the other side as well. After doing it, so you can see this is how it looks. I'm also going to stitch it on top so that it secures the inner band. So I'm going to make sure that the thread is almost invincible, that it is not seen at all. That's while I'm stitching it. So I'm done stitching it and then I'm going to be fixing a zip of about 11 inch. So that means I'm going to loosen my trouser on the side to about 11 inch. so that it can go through my hip as well. So after fixing the zip, this is how it now looks. As you can see, the zip is an invincible zip and is neatly sewn into the trouser side. I also folded the foot of the trouser by 2 inch. It was 41, so I made it 42 and I folded it by 2 inch. So now the trouser is ready. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, share my video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.